Oh, what? No. Guys, having a little technical difficulties here. My camera is not showing. I have to reset the camera here. Video capture. Just bear with me for a moment here before I go live here, guys. Just gonna have to readjust this. Okay. All right, almost there, guys. For those who want to see my face, I want to make sure you guys are able to see that. All right, let's see. I could always adjust this later, but just for now, on the fly, let's go. All right, welcome to the Meet Damien live stream here, guys. I am Damien, and today we're looking at the price of Bitcoin not doing so great. That's one of the reasons why I'm wearing a red shirt today. Usually on red days, I'll wear a red shirt, signifying that we're having a red day out there in the markets, or at least a red day here in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency world. Bitcoin, I mean, we're gonna look at the chart here first, but I want to show you guys what's going on, because you guys might be wondering, you know, why is Bitcoin dropping if, like, we got interest rate cuts and we also had, you know, a trade deal with China? Why is Bitcoin dropping? And we're going to try to answer that question for you in this live stream here. Mainly has to do with the Bitcoin ETF outflows. But let's just look at the price of Bitcoin right now, since we got the charts right now. And we'll show you like why I'm worried about Bitcoin right now. So the 200-day moving average is a pretty important moving average that we need to stay above, and it's this red line right here. And that 200-day moving average is sitting at 109,868, this red number right here, and we're currently below that number. And we're getting a candle. It looks like if we were to finish today off, right, we got 6 more hours left here, 6 hours and 49 minutes. That's the countdown right there. But if we close this candle below the 200-day moving average, it signifies that we're about to start a bear market here in Bitcoin. And I hate to be bearish on you guys, but I told you we were already playing and flirting with danger with this 200-day moving average, okay? And we did that. Obviously, we broke below it here on October 17th, and we actually had a couple of days where we closed below the 200-day moving average. But then we were able to get back up above it, got rejected, got below it again, got rejected off the 50-day moving average over here on October 26th and 27th. And then we had a bad week last week for whatever reason. Came below, and we were playing around with the 200-day moving average. But now we're getting a bearish engulfing candle here on the daily time frame. And it's showing that this market, this Bitcoin, this price of Bitcoin wants to go down, not up, unfortunately. And that's the way it's trending right now, okay? Could this still be a higher low? I hope it is. I hope it is for the bulls out there. But I'm not playing around, guys. My stop losses already got triggered on my spot positions on the exchanges that I'm on. And I'm mostly in cash right now. And I can stay in cash until we sort this thing out, okay? If we're going to go down, it feels a lot better to be in cash, knowing that I can buy Bitcoin and crypto at lower prices than it is to be, you know, worrying and having sleepless nights about, oh, is the price of Bitcoin going to get back up to 110K, 120K? I don't have to worry about that when I'm in cash. So maybe being in cash might be a thing for you to try to get into. It is a position. You don't have to always be in crypto. You can be in cash and wait these things out until we find out what Bitcoin's going to do next here, okay? But looks like Bitcoin wants to go down to lower prices, and if it does, let me just turn the VRVP, because I think that would help figure out, you know, how much lower it could go here. We do have on the VRVP indicator here, this green and red bar indicator to the right, showing that there's a value area low at 104K. I would expect Bitcoin to get a bounce off that level. Okay, if we lose 104K, we have all this volume here at like 102K to 105K. But if we start losing 104, 103, 102K, there's a gap in the VRVP, and it says that we're not going to get much support until we get to like 97K. And that's what I'm starting to worry about, that Bitcoin might actually go to like a 97K here. Okay, guys, let's try to get the likes up here. You guys are watching my live stream. I'm trying to give you that good TA. Let's go ahead and hit that like button if we haven't already. Appreciate that if you could. I see Laureen's in the chat. Good to see you, Laureen, here on YouTube. Good to see you, Laureen. All right. So yeah, Bitcoin looks like it wants to go down, and it could go down, but I'm not sure how much further down. I do think there will be a little bit of relief, at a little bit of a fight at 102, 104K because of the volume here, because of the people that bought back in May and June. They're not going to sell until they start losing money themselves. Okay, so once we go below where the people bought here in June and May, once these people start getting scared, then yeah, you'll see Bitcoin go down below 100K. But we are playing with danger here, being below the 2-day moving average. And I had to set my stop losses because, you know, my coins were in, you know, I was in altcoins, and Bitcoin is obviously not doing so well, but the altcoins are doing even worse here. Okay, just give you an idea here, like, you know, Bitcoin is down 3%, but Ethereum is down 7%, double that, right? Solana down 9-10%, almost triple what Bitcoin is down. And you know, XRP down 6%, Sui down 10%, AVAX down 10%, Aptos down 14%, Aster down 21%. So like, you know, you gotta have your stop losses in there. And I have a video on YouTube, and I think I put it on TikTok, but I definitely know I put a video up on YouTube on how to use a stop loss for those who are interested on how to protect yourself from losing money here. But let's get into what the news of the day is that got me a little bit worried. And before I get a little bit too bearish, let me just show you guys here that I'll give you a little bit of hopium about November. November is actually one of the best months to be in crypto, but you wouldn't know it from what we're seeing today and earlier this week here. Okay, but on average, Bitcoin does go up like 42% during the month of November, which ends up being the best month to be in Bitcoin and in crypto. Okay, but most of that is probably because if I just click here and zoom in, most of that is from that 2013 where Bitcoin went up like 449% in the month of November of 2013. But then you can also see that we have had some green months here in November. November 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017 up 53%. 2018, 2019 were like some bear market years, okay? But then 2020 was up 42%. And then the last bull run in 2021, we actually went down in November, but that was the month that Bitcoin actually went up to $69,000 in the previous cycle. Then we've had, you know, a bad 2022. We all know 22 was the FTX bankruptcy was in November of 2022. So that sent the price of Bitcoin down. And then 2023, we had, you know, a decent 2023 where we went up 8%. And then we all know last November, after Donald Trump got elected, that was a good November. So, I mean, could we get another good November here in 2025? Because usually November is a good month to be in Bitcoin, and we're just not seeing that right now. We're down. It says, according to this data, down 2% for the month of November, but I think it's a little bit more than that now. But yeah, that's you know, a little bit of hopium there before I start getting too bearish on you guys here. Okay, I want to give you guys that little bit of hope there. However, this is what is concerning me. You wouldn't know that the month of November is good because if we look here, what the Bitcoin ETFs have been doing here, it says that the Bitcoin ETFs have been outflowing their Bitcoin, especially over the last 3 days in October. Let me just zoom in here for you guys. You can see here. Actually, let me just zoom out here. That IBIT and Fidelity, they are like some of the biggest ETFs for Bitcoin, and they've been selling their Bitcoin during the last 3 days here in October. with iBit selling over $500 million of Bitcoin on October 29th, October 30th, and October 31st. I mean, they started a little bit here on October 29th where they sold $88 million. Then October 30th, they sold $290 million. And then October 31st, they sold $149 million worth of Bitcoin. For about a grand total, about $500 million worth of Bitcoin in the last 3 days of October here. And Fidelity also did the same, not the same amount, but they were selling their Bitcoin as well, showing that institutional investors that we've all been relying on as kind of like a crutch all throughout 2025, they're actually starting to sell their Bitcoin and take their profits on their Bitcoin if there is any profits to be had. It seems that Bitcoin's been flat this entire year. Let's go ahead and go into back in the charts here, and let's take a look at what Bitcoin's done over the past year now. Okay, going into the chart here. I got the 12-month candle, so this is basically a yearly candle. Bitcoin is still up 14% for the year, but I mean, this was supposed to be like a stellar, you know, bull run, outperforming year for Bitcoin, and we only went up 14%. That's lackluster performance compared to what it did in 2024 when it was up 120%. So was 2024 like the bull year that we've all been waiting for? I see Hulk Smash is in the chat here. How you doing, Hulk Smash? Good to see you in the live stream here. We just went over the Bitcoin ETF outflows previously in the live stream if you want to catch up on that. But yeah, now we're just talking about the price of Bitcoin. And I know, Hulk Smash, you were talking about derivatives trading in the Discord channel. Maybe I can show you what that's like here on Coinbase for myself. I know it's a little bit different than what you're used to on the other exchanges, because they do contracts instead of just, you know, putting in your leverage trade and whatnot. Like they determine what kind of leverage you're going to use on the contract, and then if you want more leverage or more margin, you just gotta buy more contracts. But we could talk about that if you want to talk about that on the live stream. I see Lorene's here on TikTok. I'm doing a live stream here on TikTok with my phone, and I'm also doing the live stream on YouTube here. Good to see you on TikTok here. I got about 12 people, 13 people here on TikTok. Guys, let me know what you guys want to talk about here as far as altcoin goes, because I think I'm ready to take on some requests here. Let's see, what I gotta catch up on the chat here on TikTok. You guys have been a little bit more active than my YouTube guys here. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Danny says, are you ready to buy more Bitcoin? It's about to go bearish. Yeah, it does look like Bitcoin's about to go bearish, because like I said, on the 200-day simple moving average, if I go into the daily time frame, I become bearish. It doesn't matter what asset it is. If you're below the 200-day moving average, that's when I become bearish on that asset. And Bitcoin has been above the 200-day moving average for the last few months here, ever since like April. But now we're flirting with danger, and it looks like Bitcoin's about to go bearish, in my opinion here. Because this is saying that in the last 200 days, you can't even stay above the average right now over the last 200 days. So I have to become bearish on Bitcoin if that's the case. But I think there might be one last fight. You know, the bulls might put in one last fight above 102, 104K. And then once we lose those levels, then it's going to be pretty much game over for the bull run. It might be a fast correction down to like 96, 97K before we get some more fight out of the bulls here. Let's see, what is Premizek saying? You think Bitcoin will drop to 102K and bounce back? That probably would be a good area to try to go long if you're still bullish on Bitcoin, is to try to put in some buy orders in at 102, 104K, somewhere in that area. Let's see. Danny says if we blow through 98K, we're gonna head to 76K, probably. And then you're using the 4 wave on the Elliott wave. I don't do Elliott wave trading. I gotta still do some more studying up on that before I feel comfortable using it on the charts and showing it to you guys here on the live stream here. But if that's what you see, what's going on Elliott wave, I believe you. Let's see, what else? I gotta catch up on the chat here. Tarek says the season is done. I mean, what kind of season? Are you talking about altcoin season? I know some people would say there has been an altcoin season. You just had to be in the right altcoins. Like Binance Coin did pretty well this year. And what else? Solana actually made a new all-time high, right? XRP did pretty well earlier this year. So you had to be in the right altcoins to have an altcoin season. But yeah, it seems like we didn't really have an altcoin season, to be honest with you. And it looks like it's just not going to happen this year. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Wall Street 55 wants to take a look at Robinhood. Is that a request for Robinhood? Just let me know if that's your request there. I'll go ahead and write it down as one of the requests. But yeah, let me know. Just confirm that is a request. And then David wants to take a look at Zcash. So we'll take a look at Zcash because you said that as a request here. And then, is it true? Maureen's asking, does Bitcoin go up for every full moon? It usually does, but I mean, if that was 100% true, then that's when everybody would buy their Bitcoin, right? Knowing that it would go up during full moon. There have been some full moons where we don't actually go up, so it's not 100% certainty that it's going to happen. I know it's supposed to be a full moon on Wednesday. So maybe it does happen for us, but maybe it doesn't. Okay, and if it doesn't, then you just have to know, like, nothing is certain in the markets here, and not even the full moon indicator can be 100% certain. All right, but if it does go up on Wednesday, I think it would probably be because we're getting a jobs report from ADP on Wednesday, and that should I mean, if it ends up showing that we're losing jobs still, then that might give more ammo for the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates, and the markets will front run that, lowering it, you know, before the Federal Reserve is able to lower interest rates again in December, and that could send the market up on Wednesday if we have a bad jobs report from ADP. So that's something to be looking out for on Wednesday. Let's see. The Hasty Juice says alts pumped hard up to December 2024. That was alt season. Yeah, it seems like alt season actually came early, and it was in December of last year, and that was it. Caleb says we already got a bad jobs report. It was leaked. I mean, I can't imagine that it's going to be a good jobs report with the government shutdown, and like you got like big companies like Amazon laying off like 30,000 people. I can't imagine that it's going to be a good jobs report, but who knows? Who knows? We'll find out on Wednesday, right? All right. Let's take a look at Zcash. I know Zcash has been having a good few days, good few weeks here. Let me get rid of this Fibonacci for now. Zcash currently trading at $413, down $5 today, down 1.3%. But you wouldn't have known because this chart is still going up and to the right. It's been going up and to the right ever since like the end of September. So Zcash is still looking bullish out there. And I believe Zcash is having like a halving or something later on in the month of November, or it could be December. So that's going to limit the supply of Zcash out there, and that's probably why this thing is still continuing to be bullish here. If it was to lose its bullish momentum, you would think it would come back to reality by dropping down to this 21 EMA sitting at 297. Okay, that's where I would try to scoop up some relatively cheaper Zcash, but just know that right now, if you're not taking profits on your Zcash, you could see this thing drop all the way down to $300 or lower than that to 297 here, and it would just be normal because usually this thing does follow the white line as best as it can. When it does come down to the white line, you usually get a bounce, right? If you're in a bull run here. So if I do see this thing come down to the white line, I would expect a bounce, an initial reaction to go up. If it does drop down to like $300 here, before, you know, we'll see what happens if it does lose that white line at 21 EMA. But that's what I'm looking at right now with the moving averages. The fact that you're above all the moving averages shows that Zcash is extremely bullish, doing the opposite of a lot of these altcoins here. But let's measure it out. Let's see if you know, we'll measure from the swing low to the swing high. If Zcash was to get a retracement, what would that look like? Okay. So just measuring that out here. If it's going to be like a 23% drop from that swing low, swing high, then you know, the 0.236 is shown at $387 is where you would expect the Zcash to come down to. But I like to look for confluence. I like to see if any of the moving averages, like, does this 21 EMA match up with any of these numbers here? And it kind of does. Looks like the 618. If we get a 618 retracement here, then yeah, this thing could come down. I would be targeting 278 to 287 in this area, which is confluent with the 21 EMA. I'd be targeting this area to be buying some Zcash, some relatively cheaper Zcash, if I'm still bullish on this asset. Okay. Now I'm gonna have to flip this thing to the upside. If this thing was to go to the upside, I have to redraw the fib now. Okay, because now we have to get the fib extensions to the upside here. If we were to go to the upside here, then you got a 1272 Fibonacci extension that shows that Zcash could get up to like $520 before you know, before people start clicking the sell button here and try to take profits on you. And then there's also a 1618 above you at 611. This thing could get up to 611 bucks, and that'd be very surprising to see if it does that while Bitcoin is dropping below 100K. But we shall see. We shall see. Lorene wants to take a look at Dash. We could take a look at Dash. And I'm still waiting on that guy that requested Robinhood. I want to make sure, was that a request for Robinhood or not? Because I don't know. HDZZZ says crypto is done. It sure does feel like that right now, especially with Bitcoin below the 200-day moving average. Alright, I'm going to take a look at Robinhood real quick here for Wall Street guy. Yeah, Wall Street 55. And then we'll move on real quick from there to take a look at Dash here. But let's take a look at Robinhood here. It's a stock on the stock market. It's actually a stock market exchange. Or I should say a stockbroker. Yeah. But anyways, Robinhood currently trading $146, down 0.5% today. Looks like I got some previous Fibonacci analysis here. I'm going to get rid of that for now. Robinhood looks like it's bullish, not as extremely bullish as Zcash, but it is above most of its moving averages on the daily time frame here. You got the 21 EMA right below you. If it was to come down and get a slight correction, you could come down to 139 bucks. But let's see. I'm probably going to measure Fibonacci here from the swing low to swing high, see how much further down it could go down on us here. So it looks like on the fib levels, we've already hit, it looks like we have already hit the 0.382 retracement here. That's at 117 bucks, 117.85, and we came down to like 120 bucks, so we kind of front ran it a little bit. But if we were to come down to lower prices, maybe we come and revisit that low one more time here at the 120 bucks here. And by that point, I think the 50-day moving average would be providing support at that area, because this thing is also climbing up as well on price. And I would expect at least the 50-day moving average to act as support if Robinhood was to come down to lower prices here. Now, if Robinhood was to actually go up to higher prices here, we do have the 1272 above us at $170. That could be a target to look for on Robinhood. And then we got a 1618 saying that Robinhood could get up to $191 later on in the future. We shall see. But right now, I think the highest price Robinhood's been at is $153.86. And if I zoom out, I don't think it's ever been that high before. Yeah, so realistically, I think targets to be looking for if we make it past $153 is $170 as the next stop for Robinhood. And then, of course, maybe the 1618 at $191 for Robinhood. All right, let's move on from Robinhood. We'll take a look at Dash now. I know Dash... not DoorDash. I believe you want Dash to crypto, right? Dash has been making a lot of news lately because it's been shooting up, okay? Getting a lot of people's interest here. It's up 9.8% today at $98.40 here. And Dash has been cashing the bids since Halloween. It went up about 20% on Halloween. It was trading at around, it started the day at like $43. We pretty much doubled in price since Halloween. The last 3 days here, because like on November 1st we up 39%, then another 21% on Sunday, November 2nd. How much higher could Dash go? Well, I think Dash is, geez, let's see. Going back to like where Dash was at in 2021, 2022, you do have some previous price action to look at here. We're kind of contending against where we were in January and March of 2022. If we can get past these levels here at $100, alright, so we're at $100 Dash right now. But if we can get past $100, then I think the next area to look out for is $130 Dash here. Okay, maybe like $120 to $130 here. Because you got the previous resistance that was, you know, this area was tough for us to get past here in April 2022. It was also acting as support back here in December of 2021. Acting as support here in July of 2021. So I think 120, 130 bucks is the next level for Dash to go to. But this, see, Dash has been the higher prices. Back here in 2021, in May of 2021, we saw a $478 Dash. Interesting. Could Dash be one of the cryptocurrencies to make a lot of money in the next few days, few weeks here? I don't know, we shall see, but it looks like it's trying to do that for us here. I'm gonna go ahead and try to do, let's see, just using previous price action. I'm gonna measure from the swing low here to the swing high and see what the fib extensions come out for that. So measuring from this level here down to this level down here, the swing low, the swing high, we have some levels to look for. So we're already coming up on the 1618 at $104.11 here for Dash. You would expect people to start taking profit literally like right now. Dash is at 101 bucks. Anywhere between 101 to 104 dollars, you would expect people to start taking profit at that area if they're using the Fibonacci extension levels here. But we do have a 2618 that says Dash could get up to 156 bucks here, which we know it has back in 2021, but could it do that here in 2025? I don't know. We shall see. But it looks like it's on its way to do that right now. Okay. But yeah, I think these are levels to be looking out for on Dash. Let's take a look at the oscillators here, see what's going on. You are overbought, but you need to be overbought if you're going to be going to $150 Dash here. Right now, the RSI is at 85, and the RSI is actually higher than what we saw here on October 12th when RSI was at 83. So there is no bearish divergence yet on Dash. So Dash could continue doing what it's doing. It just has to continue being overbought here on the daily time frame. Let's look at the weekly time frame, see what that looks like. Yeah, you are getting overbought on the weekly time frame here. So just know that you are playing this as a momentum play to go to higher prices here. Just know that the music could stop on you, and you might be caught right out of chair on this musical chair, trying to go to like higher prices. You know, buy high and sell higher. It's a tough game to play, but if you're trying to play that game, just know that you are playing a dangerous game here of trying to buy high and sell higher. But right now, like on the daily time frame, the MACD is actually increasing with buying pressure. So I wouldn't really start worrying until you see a light green candle show up on the MACD, like you see like back here on October 14th, where you get light green, light green, light green, and then you start getting the potential of a MACD flip to the downside. Right now you have increase in buying pressure, so you're still good to ride this thing up to higher prices here. Okay, let me see if I can just show you here. On October 14th, we got that light green was starting to show up here on the MACD, and you saw that the price started dropping down towards the end of October here. So I would pay attention to the MACD. See if that light green starts showing up again, showing you that the buyers are getting exhausted and they're not pushing the price up as hard as they used to. But right now, price is getting pushed. Literally, as I'm talking right now, we're at the highest price for Dash right now. Dash is literally climbing as I'm speaking, and trying to make higher highs here. Okay, and then here on the market cipher B indicator, I mean, you went past the overbought horizontal bars here. You are playing with fire at these prices here. But you don't have a red dot yet. You do not have a red dot on the daily time frame, signifying that there could be a change in direction on the price. Dash looks like it's literally breaking out right now as I speak. So there you go, Laureen. Dash is breaking out right now as I speak, and as I'm analyzing this coin, it continues going up to the highs for the day. All right. But yeah, I would just be on the lookout when you see that red dot show up on Market Cipher B. It's probably time to take profit on your long if you have profits here on Dash. And yeah, I mean you'll probably get a better hint on the smaller time frames. Let's just take a look at the smaller time frames here. If I go into the 4-hour time frame, all right, you have a green dot that just showed up here on Dash. So Dash is probably going to do the thing and actually go to higher prices. I mean, it is doing that right now as I speak. And then let's see, on the 1-hour time frame, oh my god, money flow is actually starting to increase. This thing's about to get ridiculous. If you want to play the breakout trade, you could play that breakout trade right now, because I think that's what you're getting here on Dash right now. Okay, literally, you're going up to higher prices as I'm speaking right now. And like I said, what was the next price? If I go into the daily time frame again, I mean, we got the 2618 saying 156 bucks here, and we're going to the 1-hour time frame. I mean, you could call this a bull flag. Let's just measure this out, right? If this was a bull flag on Dash, just want to measure this out here real quick. Got kind of like a bull flag here, right? But just using the bull flag here, if this is a bull flag, this is your flagpole, you just take this out. The measured move is saying that we could see $113, $114. That blue number right there on Dash. So I'm not sure how much more juice you have left to squeeze out of this thing, but it looks like the bull flag says we could get up to like $113, $114. So you still got like $7 or $8 left to go on Dash. Going back to what Hulk Smash said here on YouTube, he said the last Red October was 2018. It was down 3.8%, and that November was down 36.5%. Yeah, we looked at the monthly chart for Bitcoin previously on this live stream. If I go back here real quick, since you're talking about the monthly here on Bitcoin, the last Red October that we had, right? That you're talking about 2018, we were down 3.83%, and then the month after that was November 2018. We went down 36% that month, and that was during the bear market of 2018. 2018 was just a bad year for crypto. You can see that we started 2018 down 25% for the month of January, and then month of March we went down another 32%, and then the month of May we went down 80%, down 40%, and then yeah, we finished 2018 really bad, going down 36% in the month of November of 2018. So that was a bear year, a bear market. This year, not really too much of a bear year. I mean, the worst month we've had in 2025, we were down 17.39% in February. And then after that, the second worst month of 2025 was down 6.49% in August. But if this is gonna be a bull year for Bitcoin in 2025, we gotta start seeing some green again, and we're not seeing that right now. So is this looking like I wouldn't call it a bull year or bear year. It's kind of like a lackluster year, but it's been like a bear market for altcoins. If that we all can feel that in the altcoin market world here. All right, let me see what you guys are saying here on TikTok. Dan Will says alt season is not coming. Well, we kind of talked about altcoin season. Somebody suggested that altcoin season was December of last year, and it sure did feel like that, because I know I had so many people asking me about cryptocurrency around that time. And I had buddies of mine trying to get into meme coins and stuff like that, trying to get me to get into meme coins like themselves. And it sure did feel like an altcoin season around that time, yeah. So maybe we already had altcoin season, and then we had an altcoin bear market after that for like 2025. And now Bitcoin is not having a bear market yet, but maybe Bitcoin's about to start its bear market, unfortunately. Millennium saying BSV. Thoughts on that one? Lorene, be careful out there, but Lorene. You know, Dash is climbing, right? But it could flip on you. We all saw what happened with CoAI. You know what happened with CoAI. Don't make the same mistake with CoAI. If you're not already in Dash, then I would, you know, I would not play around with that one yet. You don't really make money buying green candles. You want to buy red candles and then sell on the green candles. Yeah, it's just fun to watch at this point. If you're not in Dash right now, at least you know somebody out there is making some money. If you're not in it, Mario's waiting the short Dash. That's probably the next play. Like the next play should be like, when is a good time to short Dash? Now might be a good time, but you know, going into the smaller time frames and the oscillators, I'm not sure if I could say now, because you did have a green buy dot here at 11 a.m. Eastern time about a couple hours ago on the 1 hour time frame. 15-minute time frame, I mean, you're getting close to overbought here on Market Cipher B. 5-minute time frame, you got some top signals here and you're still overbought. So short term wise, I would say, you know, looking for a short on Dash doesn't seem like a bad idea. It might actually be a good idea. But the thing that's got me a little bit worried is the 1 hour time frame is saying that Dash wants to continue going up to higher prices here. And then 4 hour time frame, you're getting increasing buying pressure on the MACD. And then also you got a green buy dot on the 4 hour time frame. So Dash might go down temporarily this afternoon, but then it might start going back up again later on tonight, going into tomorrow. So there might be a slight correction this afternoon, and then it continues on to higher prices going into tomorrow. All right, let's take a look at the BSV. Is that like Bitcoin Cash? Is that a request for Bitcoin Cash? And is that a crypto? Because there is a BSV on the stock market. Yeah, I think that's what you want. Want Bitcoin Satoshi Vision? Is that what you're asking for here, BSV? I'm just gonna go with that until you tell me otherwise. And what is Khan asking here? Khan, you're saying it is the beginning of the biggest Black Swan event. You have 10 Bitcoin that you bought in 2017. Oh wow, congratulations, Khan. That's a lot of Bitcoin there. And you're asking, should you sell it now? I mean, I think a lot of people are just thinking like they're gonna sell their Bitcoin at 100K. So they're gonna put their stop loss at around 100, 101, 102K just to say that they sold their Bitcoin at 100K. But I think Bitcoin might get a bounce off the 102, 103, 104K area, somewhere in that area. I think the bulls will put in one last defense of the 102K, 104K area. Alright, let's look at Bitcoin Satoshi Vision here for one of the requests here. Do I want to look at that on? Yeah, let's look at that on Mexi Exchange here. See how it's doing. So we're now looking at BSV, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, which is a fork coin that came off the Bitcoin network back in 2017. There's also another Bitcoin offshoot, and that's like Bitcoin Cash. You guys might have heard of Bitcoin Cash. So Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, they both came out in 2017. And right now, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision is trading at $21.37, down 4.3% today. Trying to look at the oscillators here. I'm going to actually get rid of the oscillators for now. Let's just zoom out, see what Bitcoin Satoshi Vision has been doing this past year. Looking like garbage in my opinion, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. I mean, this has been a great way to lose money, great way to actually short and make money. Looks like BSV topped out here in December of 2024, just like all the other altcoins. It's just like every other altcoin out there, except for Dash, which is actually going up right now. Looks like you've been down and going to the right, and down and going to the right, getting rejected off the 200 moving average whenever you get up to it. I would expect Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, if it does start catching bids here, to get rejected off the 200 moving average at 29 bucks. That red line right there. Okay. Are you making a case for bottoming out here? Yeah, on Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. Let's see what the RSI is doing. So let me go ahead and move this up to higher frame here. So this is what we have for the RSI. You are kind of creating some higher lows possibly here. Maybe there might be some possible bullish divergence. Let's see. So obviously, you know, we made lower lows to get down to these prices here. And are you making a higher low on the RSI? So we got an RSI here on July 4th at 28.29, and then 27.94 on September 25th. So you're still making lower lows on the RSI. So that I can't say there's bullish divergence yet. So that theory gets thrown out the water. Let's see what Market Cipher B is showing here. Market Cipher B, just zooming in. You had some green money flow coming in. That's good to see. However, recently, as of today, you have a red dot showing up, saying that we could have a few bad days ahead of us here on Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. You had a green buy dot here on Halloween. That was good to see. And now here, like, we're getting rejected, I guess, at this point. But I like the fact that the momentum wave is trying to curve up, and you did have green money flow going in over the last few days. It's just that today is because I guess Bitcoin's going down itself as well. Be it Bitcoin Satoshi Vision is printing a red dot, so I would be careful over the next few days. The next few days, you might be able to buy some cheaper Bitcoin Satoshi Vision here, if you're inclined to do so. But yeah, on the daily time frame, you were making progress up until today. That's what shows on the Market Cipher B indicator. And then as far as like MACD goes, right, selling pressure was dying down towards the end of October. You were getting buying pressure coming in towards the last week of October. You still have a little bit of buying pressure. You have a light green candle here. I don't know. I mean, I feel like today, because Bitcoin is dropping down on you, it's throwing cold water on whatever parade you were about to get here on Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. So, yeah. Not the greatest. Not the greatest, but not the worst either. I would just say that, you know, if this thing does go up to higher prices, expect to start selling it at 29 bucks here, because you got the 200-day moving average, which is acting as resistance all throughout 2025. If you're short-term day trading it, just getting back up to the 50-day moving average at $25 would be a good take profit zone. And I put the stop loss below the candlewick lows here if you're day trading it. And if you're in it for a swing trade, or just using spot on your BSV, I would probably put the stop loss below the lows on October 10th here, where we got down to $17.11. If we go lower than $17.11, there's something wrong with this asset. You probably don't want to stick around to find out what exactly is wrong with it. Mario's asking for virtuals and ICP, or you just telling me that virtuals and ICP had good runs. Yeah, it seemed like over the last week, the AI cryptocurrencies were getting money flowed into them, probably from some venture capitalists out there, and also because I think Nvidia reported a good quarter. So I think there was like talk about, all right, can we do artificial intelligence in crypto since Nvidia is having a good quarter in a good year so far. So I think that's why we had some money going into the AI cryptocurrency space here. Johanten Grossman is following me here on TikTok. Thank you for the follow there on TikTok there, Johanten. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, then you should come check out the Meet Damien channel on TikTok here, if this thing will actually load up. Let's try this again one more time here. if it decides a little. But yeah, you should come join the Meet Damien TikTok and try to follow me here on TikTok if you can. And then also for my YouTube guys, I do have a YouTube channel, and you can find me here on YouTube as well. Okay, where I go live 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern time on the live streams here. And you can also check out some of my videos here, where I've done some tutorial videos about like how to use the Fibonacci indicator, how to use the VRVP indicator. And then for you brand new guys just learning about trading, you can actually look at my video here on how to read a candlestick chart pattern and how to read the RSI, MACD, and stochastic RSI indicators as well. Alrighty. Damn, why is TikTok taking forever to load up? I was trying to show TikTok, but TikTok is slacking right here. Alright. Mario, do you want to take a look at the virtuals on the chart? You can take a look. I know virtuals had a pretty good weekend this past weekend. So wait 10 seconds for your response. If not, I'll take a look at it anyways. Thank you, Lorraine, for liking the live. We're at like 5,100 likes here on TikTok. Let's see if we can get that up to 6,000 likes here. Alrighty, let's take a look at virtuals. Virtual cryptocurrency is a cryptocurrency that's related to the AI agent space, where you can create your own AI agents. And this thing is at $1.48, down 11% today. Looks like you're trying to stay above the 2-day moving average. That's good to see that you're actually trying to stay above the 2-day moving average. That's better than what we could say for Bitcoin here. Bitcoin's not even above the 2-day moving average right now. But let's see. Virtuals has seen better days back in December of 2024. Where we saw this thing as high as like $5.25 here. And I have drawn a Fibonacci that I think is still useful here. And I measure from the swing low back in April to the swing high here in May, where this thing did get up to like 258. And it looks like we have got to the 618 golden pocket here. Got to like $1.90 on Saturday, which was like right above the golden pocket number here at 0.65. Retracement at $1.82. So we've already hit that, and we use that as resistance. And now it looks like we're coming down to the 200-day moving average of support, and we also came down to the 100-day moving average of support as well. Hopefully these moving averages continue to act as support for virtuals here. And I think I'm just going to draw another Fibonacci here. Just measuring from the swing low. Let's see, we'll count that as a low here on October 17th at 69 cents to the $1.90 area. If we draw a Fibonacci from that area, let's see what that gives us. Alright, so if virtuals are going to continue being bullish here, you would expect virtuals to at least get up to the 1272 Fibonacci extension at 223. Could be a target for virtuals if we're going to continue being bullish here. And then the 1618 says virtual could get up to like 264 before you might want to start clicking the sell button to get out of virtuals. But as of now, we are just currently we're sitting at the golden pocket right now at the 0.65 retracement at $1.48. We're literally at that golden pocket level right now. If virtuals was to go down, and not in a good way either, if it was to go down on us, we could see virtual probably revisit the 0.5 retracement at $1.30, which is confluent with that 100-day moving average. And if we lose that, then there is some more possible support here at that 50-day moving average at $1.17, which is confluent with the 0.382 at $1.16 here. So these are your downside targets. Your downside targets here on virtuals, and then your upside targets, and then future upside targets here for virtuals. Thank you, Marco, for liking the live here. Provoke is asking about Aster. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll take a look at Aster as a request here. My thoughts on Aster, I know over the weekend, CZ said that he is buying some more Aster out of his own personal money. And I think that's what caused Aster to go up in price. But man, he wouldn't have known that it went up in price because it's going down just as bad as it went up yesterday. We saw Aster go up 27% yesterday, only for it to then get canceled out here today, where it's down 20%. So we're back to the same price, as if like CZ didn't even buy any more Aster here. And we're currently hanging out near this 0.236 retracement at 99 cents. I do not want to see Aster lose this level, because if you do, then, I mean, how much further down do you go? Because we measured this. This was a Fibonacci that we measured from like 54 cents all the way up. Oh shoot, what did I do? Oh man, I just messed up my chart here. Let me readjust that. Okay. So yeah, I measured from the swing low here to the swing high. The swing high got as high as like $2.43 here. Wouldn't that be nice if Aster could get back up there again? But yeah, you don't really have that much support once you lose 99 cents here. Because I think that's also like a psychological target, like $1. Can Aster hold on to $1? If it can't, then let's see. I'll turn on the VRVP to give us an idea of like how much lower it could go before it gets some support. And the VRVP indicator is showing that, I mean, there's really not that much support below, like maybe 87 cents could be an area where this thing comes down to, but if you lose 87 cents, there's really no high volume nodes here. I mean, it could drop right down to 50 cents all over again. If you lose, like, if you lose the level that you're at right now and you lose 87 cents, you could come down to 50 cents. There's no support below you. Dope boy, we're looking at Aster right now, which is hanging out near the 0.236 retracement. It's in the danger zone, the red zone right now. But this could be an area where you could strategically plan on buying Aster at very low prices. Put your stop loss below the candlewick low today at 88 cents. And you're game planning to see if this thing can get back up to the higher levels here. I would expect, you know, if this thing can go to higher prices, you would expect this thing to at least get up to like the 618 golden pocket at $1.77 before maybe it gets rejected off of that level. But that's about like a roughly 70% gain from where you are right now, almost a double. I would be looking for $1.77 to the upside for Aster, if it can get up to that area. Aster is breaking out, is that the question? I wouldn't really say that, because you have a red candle that's almost becoming a bearish engulfing red candle here. Looks like Aster did come right up to this 0.32 retracement at $1.26. We came up to $1.28 yesterday, and we hit $1.26 today. So you're getting rejected off of this 0.32 retracement and coming right back down to the 0.236. But I would go long. Yeah, I would go long on this asset and put a tight stop loss. No more than, if I was day trading it, no more than 1% of my trading account as my stop loss. Because I don't want to lose more than 1%. Because if I lose 1%, at least I can go back in again and lose another 1%. And I can do that like 99 more times before I blow up my trading account. Alright, let's see. Maureen says Bitcoin went back up again. And you're saying that you'll go long with a stop loss under 80 cents. That doesn't seem like a bad idea to me. Let's just measure that out if you did do that, right? I'm going to get rid of this Fibonacci for now. And if you were to go long right now, and you're putting your stop loss at 80 cents, how much of a stop loss is that? You'll lose about 17% of your position. And I mean, if you're trying to get back up to like $1.26, it's about a 29% gain. It's not really a good risk-reward ratio. You're probably, if you're doing a steep stop loss like that, you're probably waiting to go to higher prices, right? And I think we said, what, $1.77 is where we could see this thing probably go to. And that's about an 82% gain for a 17% stop loss. That's a risk-reward ratio of 4.7. Anything above 3 is a good risk-reward ratio. So I think if you're waiting for $1.77, it's worth being an Aster, in my opinion. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Lorraine, for the roses and the perfume. Appreciate that. I'm gonna smell good today. Thank you. Lorraine says, not financial advice. Alright, let's go back and take a look at I want to take a look at Bitcoin real quick because Lorraine said it is going up right now. And then we got a request here for Solana. Alright, Bitcoin at 107K, 107,560. Still not good enough for me. I want to see Bitcoin get back up to the 200-day moving average at 109,872. So you got a lot of work here to do, Bitcoin. Alright, but believe it or not, this low that we went to at 105,270 Bitcoin is still a higher low than October 17th when Bitcoin was at 103,516. So the bulls can still make the bullish case that they're making higher lows here. The bears will say, oh, you were making lower lows on the daily time frame. But now I mean, as long as you don't go lower than 103K here, you're now saying, no, sorry bears, we're making higher lows again here on the daily time frame. So it's just frustrating, very frustrating to see this kind of stuff here, because you still are making lower highs here on Bitcoin on the daily time frame, but now you're making higher lows here as well. So it's just the bulls are fighting back, and the bears are pushing us down as well. And this will probably end up becoming like a symmetrical triangle at some point here. Alright, let's take a look at the Solana. We gotta look at Solana for Dope Boy here. Dope Boy. Solana currently trading on $169.48. Solana was looking fine throughout the last few weeks here. It was staying above its 200-day moving average, but now look, you know, today we dropped below that 200-day moving average, sitting at $179.70 here. If Solana can't get back over that 200-day moving average, then I have to start becoming more bearish on Solana. We gotta get back up to $179 for me to be feeling better about Solana here, okay? Because anytime you're below the 2-day moving average, I have to be bearish. I have to be bearish on that asset. It doesn't matter what asset it is. Could be the S&P 500, could be Google, could be Tesla, could be Solana, could be Bitcoin. It don't matter. If you're below the 2-day moving average, I have to be bearish on it. Dope Boy wants to look at Ethereum. We can look at Ethereum after this, yeah. So the moving averages that I use, Lorraine, here is I got the 200-day moving average as that red line, and then I got the 100-day moving average, and these are simple moving averages. This isn't like an EMA. It's not an exponential moving average. The 200 simple moving average is that red line. The blue line is the 100 simple moving average, and the green line is the 50 simple moving average, and then the white line, it's supposed to be the 21 exponential moving average, the EMA, 21 EMA. Thank you, Calvin Hill, for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. Hopefully you're the real Calvin Hill. I know there's a few Calvin Hills out there, but I'll check out your profile later to see how you are. Snoblas, follow me here on TikTok. Thank you for following me here. Maureen, I'll have to answer that question for you in Discord The difference between the simple and the exponential moving average, okay? Alright, but getting back to finishing up here on Solana. The 200-day moving average, you know, yeah, we need to get back up to it again at 179 bucks here for me to be bullish again on Solana. If not, then we have to start wondering how much lower could Solana go. And we do have a Fibonacci that I used here to justify, you know, where could Solana go next. We got a 0.236 at $156. That could be the next level for Solana. 156 bucks puts you at the same level that we kind of pivoted off of here in August. So maybe Solana does come down to 156 here. That's an area to be looking for on the downside. To the upside, if Solana can just, you know, cash the bids here, and this is just a fake out, a bear fake out here, then I would expect Solana to at least get some resistance at that 50-day moving average sitting at 200 bucks. I think that's going to be a psychological target where some of the OGs in Solana, they might be like, you know what, this might be my last time to sell Solana, and then we're going to get rejected off that 50-day moving average at 200 bucks. It's going to be like a psychological level for some people here. But yeah, that's the next upside target for Solana. Since we're hanging out at 169, can you even get back up to 200 bucks again? And then if you get up to 200 bucks, then we'll see if we can get up to like the higher levels here, like the 786 retracement at 226 bucks. But yeah, this is nasty. Lower high, lower high, lower high. And now you're making lower lows here on Solana. Not good. No bueno, in my opinion here. Alright, we gotta look at the Ethereum for Dope Boy. Ethereum currently trading at 3,664, down 6.19% today. Ethereum is above its 200-day moving average. 200-day moving average is sitting at 33.62, so not as bearish as Solana and Bitcoin, believe it or not. Okay, Ethereum is actually holding on pretty strong here, but how much longer can it hold on? Looks like the 0.5 retracement is an area that we've been trying to respect here as a support zone at 35.34. We came down to 35.63 earlier today, and then back here on October 10th we came down to 35.10. So I think the $3,500 level is a level that needs to be respected as support here for Ethereum, because if not, then you're gonna lose 3,500 bucks, and you might come down to that 200-day moving average at 33.62. Trade Intuition's in the chat. Good to see you, Trade Intuition. Trade Intuition and his viewers are coming in. It's good to see. So Trade Intuition, looks like he did another bonus stream here this afternoon. All right. But yeah, Ethereum is making lower highs here, You are trying to hang on to the fact that you are making a higher low compared to what you did here on October 10th, but just barely. Let's see, we barely created a higher low here on the daily time frame here. Yes, guys, listen to Trade Intuition. Smack that like button if you haven't done so already. It's tough to talk about this content, especially on a day like today when no one really wants to look at their cryptocurrency portfolio. But I mean, days like today are very important. Like, you have the game plan. Like, do you really want to still be in crypto if we're about to go into a bear market here? What price are you gonna put your stop loss at to prevent yourself from losing more money? I think here on Ethereum, like, it makes a lot of sense to put your stop loss below the low here on October 10th at 35.10. Maybe you just put your stop loss at 3,500 bucks. Because if you lose 3,500 bucks, then how much lower do you go? Do you go down to that 200-day moving average? That'd be like roughly a 10% drop, right? If you go from 3,500 to 3,300, I mean, this is saying like a 6% drop. Yeah. I mean, do you want to lose another 6%? But like from where we are right now, like it's about 8% drop here. Can you stomach another 8% drop on your crypto? On your Ethereum? I know if I already got stopped out on my spot bags here in crypto on the exchanges. I have more cash now on the cryptocurrency exchanges than I do crypto. And I'm waiting for Bitcoin to get above the 200-day moving average before I start buying, you know, probably more Bitcoin at this point. I'm not sure if I want to get into altcoins at this point, because altcoins, look at this. I mean, just look at to the right side. When Bitcoin drops 3%, you got Ethereum dropping 6%. You got Solana dropping 9%, like triple what Bitcoin does. You got like Sui dropping 10%. Even worse here with Aptos down 14% and Aster down 20%. Like, at this point, because I've already made money in crypto, I want capital preservation. If I was to get back in and put my cash into cryptocurrency again, I would probably put into Bitcoin because I don't want to risk too much. But I would like to try to buy the lows here. At this point, I'm planning on buying Bitcoin maybe one last time here at 104, 103K. If we do get down into that area, because I think there will be a reaction off of this area. Mainly because the people buying back here in May and June, they're not going to click the sell button, so there'll be less selling pressure because they'll just be at break even. But if we go below 103K, I'm going to put the stop loss tight on it too. But if we go below 103, 102K here, then yeah, we're going to see us lose 100K Bitcoin. Then we're going to be talking about like the mid-90s for Bitcoin. Because we got some people here that bought in the mid-90s back here in April. This would be our support area. Below 102K. Okay. Chris Klein likes the music. Good to see you guys. Whoa, now we got the trade intuition raid here. We got like 13 people showing up here on YouTube now. Good to see you guys. Chris loves the show. Thank you, Chris. Let's see, what did Chris say? Chris says, heck yeah, I want to be in crypto. I'm ready for the bear market. Never been through one before and really want to learn how to trade bearish futures like a champ. Yeah, it's going to be the way to try to make money during a bear market is trying to short Bitcoin and crypto. And I mean, you can still buy the dips, like if you know, after we get a crash, like there will still be, you know, during a bear market, like the axiom that you guys are going to want to learn is you want to buy the dip and sell the rip. So during a bear market, you'll see, I mean, kind of Bitcoin did this already, where we had the dip, right? And then we had a rip that got back up, and then another dip here, and then we kind of ripped back up to like 116K. So like the thing that you want to follow during the bear market is buy the dip, sell the rip. And I have to say that we're looking bearish on Bitcoin because we are making lower highs. I mean, yeah, we had an all-time high on October 6th here. But then this was, what, a high here at 116K. October 13th. Then we made lower lows here. And then we actually did make a slightly higher high than what we did here on October 13th, where we did see Bitcoin get up to $116,410 here on Coinbase. But relatively speaking, this was a lower high compared to the all-time high, obviously. And now here we are making lower lows now, at least a lower low compared to October 30th. However, there's a lot of confusion in the market because we still haven't made a lower low than what we did here on October 17th. If we were to make a lower low on October 17th, then yeah, I mean, you're in a downtrend. You're making lower highs and lower lows. Right now, the markets are choppy, confusing people. We don't know if we're bullish or bearish. But right now, it seems like the bears are getting they're starting to win their case in court that we're in a bear market or about to get into a bear market. Especially with this bearish engulfing and red candle here, and us making a lower low than October 30th. Okay, if we continue making lower lows here, then that gives more credence and credibility to the bears being right about us going into a bear market on Bitcoin and crypto here. Let me see. Prem Gel wants to look at AVAX next. Okay. And Mozart wants to look at Bonk. And Lou wants to look at Tau. Alright. Alright. So these are some requests that came in while I was talking about Bitcoin. Alright, so we're going to look at Tau because that came in first. And then we'll take a look at Bonk. And then we're going to look at AVAX. Appreciate the request, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button, especially if I'm going over your cryptocurrencies here and giving you this free TA on your coins. At the very least, the least you can do is hit that like button. And also, you can tell your friends and family too. That helps too. You know, tell them that, hey, this guy, Meet Damien, talks about the charts, talks about the cryptocurrencies, and looks at the charts and gives us an idea like where prices might go next. All right, so we gotta look at Tau for the next one. BitSensor. Alright, Tau, what are you doing here? Tau is currently trading at $484, down almost, well, I will say we're down 0.7% today. And Tau was in an uptrend over the last few days, few weeks here. And I have measured a Fibonacci from what it did here back in May down to the lows here in April. I think this Fibonacci is still useful for like upside targets. If Tau continues marching up to the upside here, we have a 1272 that says you should probably think about selling a Tau when it gets to 639, okay, which is higher than what it did here in May at like 540. Okay, that's another upside target for Tau. But downside target, I mean, it looks like we already revisited the 786, and the 786 was at 460. We came as low as 445 today on Tau. If we were to continue downtrending, we'll probably see 460 all over again, and we might see 410, which is your 6.5 golden pocket number. And we might actually come right back down to that white line, the 21 EMA, which is sitting at 423 right now. So your downside targets there for Tau. Let's look at the oscillators for Tau. We'll start with my favorite indicator, Market Cipher B. You're getting up to the overbought horizontal bars here, saying that this thing is considered overbought on Market Cipher B. You had a green buy down on Halloween, but we know what comes next after green usually comes a red dot. And if you see a red dot showing up later on today or tomorrow or later on this week, I would think about clicking the sell button on Tau and taking profits. If you haven't done so already, usually when you get a red dot, that signifies that you'll have a few bad days ahead of you. Unless you immediately get a green dot like you saw here on Market Cipher B. Like we had a red dot on October 30th, and then the next day we had a green buy dot saying that, nope, you can still be in Tau. Okay, so just looking at the charts here, you know, we had that red dot on October 30th, and then immediately it got canceled out with a bullish engulfing green candle here. So that's why, you know, that red dot got canceled out there, because, like, you know, the buying price action to the upside on Tau. Let's look at the MACD now. Buying pressure was increasing over the last week, but now you're starting to get a light green candle here. And if you start getting more light green candles, if we get like another light green candle tomorrow, that means buying pressure is dying down, and people are taking profits on Tau. So I would probably take profits with them, unless you're in it for the long term and you want to continue, you know, pushing this thing up to higher prices here. But when you see light green, usually light green continues on until you get the MACD flip, and then you get selling pressure showing up. And, you know, just looking like back here, right, we had green, and then buying pressure dying down, and then, yeah, you got the red coming up here on the MACD. So that could be a warning, a little bit of a warning, right? Looking at the MACD, if you see light green showing up, time to take profits. DZ's in the chat. He's asking about Toshi and SQD. That's going to come after Bonk and AVAX here. Thank you for the request, though. SQD. Lorraine says Tao is having a halving in December. I did not know that. That should be good for Tao then. SKD, is that a request for Jelly Jelly? You want to take a look at Jelly Jelly? We'll have to look at Jelly. And Chris wants to look at Link and Ando. Alright, those might be the last requests for today. Because now I got a good amount to go over now. Alright. And HSNL says, you like my analysis. Thank you for liking the analysis here. Alright, let's move on from Tao. We gotta take a look at Bonk and Toshi. Yeah, Bonk, Avax, then Toshi. Alright. Let's see, Bonk is currently trading at 1236, down 13.69% today. And yeah, this is very disappointing to see Bonk at these price levels here. You're at the same price level that you're at back here in June 22nd when the United States was dropping bombs on Iran. Has it really gotten that bad for Bonk now? Basically did a round trip here on Bonk. Ugh. And Bonk has seen higher prices back here in like December of last year. Well, I guess we're gonna call that the altcoin season, right? We had an altcoin season. It was last year, and we didn't even know it. We were living through it, and we didn't even know it that it was the altcoin season last year. All right, so Bonk, what can you do here, Bonk? Well, you got to do something right now if you're gonna continue being bullish. I can't even call you bullish because you're below the 2-day moving average. You lost that 2-day moving average October 10th, when Donald Trump threatened 100% tariffs on China, only to do a trade deal 2 weeks later with China. So I guess that worked out for whatever Trump was trying to do. It worked out, but it damaged the markets here. It damaged Bonk coin, and Bonk is lower than it was on October 10th, and almost as low as what it was like when, you know, Iran was getting bombed on, and there's a lot of fear in the markets. Looks like there's still that same amount of fear in the markets here. Let's look at the oscillators here real quick. Let's see what Bonk can do here. Market Cipher B. Market Cipher B showing a red dot today. No bueno. Okay. Not a green buy dot. You got a green buy dot here on November 1st. So whatever happened in the last couple of days, it's just not good enough. Alright. RSI, I mean, it's low. It's at 34. It's not oversold, but it could get oversold. And then MACD, like the selling pressure was dying off towards the end of October. You're getting green buy candles here. You need more buying pressure here on Bonk. If Bonk can get that green buying pressure, then I want to see Bonk get back to the 200-day moving average, sitting at 2,037. At this point, that's almost like a double from where you are right now. Let's see, if I measure this out to that 200-day moving average, it's about a 65%, so maybe not a double, but it's still a good percentage gain if we get back up to that 200-day moving average. I think that's all you're asking for Bonk is, can you get back to that 200-day moving average and get back to being considered bullish again? Just trying to figure out, is this a bear flag? This is looking like a bear flag. So I know Lorraine was asking about bear flags earlier this weekend for some assets out there. This is looking like a bear flag with me. Okay, if I can just draw this out real quick, the chart pattern here. If this was the higher lows we were trying to make while making lower high highs, this is looking like a pennant or a flag. And if this is the measured move and we're breaking down this bear flag on On Bonk, you got a measured target that says Bonk could get up to like, I mean, get down to that blue number, 521. You could see another 50% drop in Bonk to the downside. Yikes. 58% drop in Bonk if this bear flag plays out to the downside. HSNL, you say that you might put a size in the Bitcoin if it drops to 100, 103K, or maybe better at 90K. Yeah, I feel like there's going to be some people who are going to try to buy Bitcoin at like 102, 103K. The bulls will probably put up their last defense to try to keep Bitcoin above 100K at that area. And if we lose that area, then I think that's the beginning of the bear market for sure. If we lose 100K on Bitcoin. But we're starting to get that right now with Bitcoin going below the 200-day moving average. We're getting the beginnings of a bear market for Bitcoin, if it ends up being a bear market. Thank you for Lorraine for sending me the "You're Awesome" token. Thank you. And also sending me a heart. Thank you for that as well. Alright, we gotta move on from Bonk. We gotta take a look at AVAX. Should be in my watch list here. AVAX currently trading at $16.89, down 10% today. AVAX is also down near the lows back here in June, where we saw AVAX as low as $15.62. How low did you go today? $15.92? Oh my god. Yeah, it's like just as bad as like June. And AVAX has done a round trip all throughout the summer. So everything that was going on this summer, we lost all that progress, all those gains during the summertime. We lost it. How could you call this a bull market? Who still calls this a bull market? Like, who is still bullish in crypto? Especially if you look at the altcoins. How can you even call it a bull market in altcoin world? We're like all waiting for altcoin season. The whole time you've been in a bear market. But we lost that 200-day moving average on Avalanche. Same thing with Bonk. We lost that on October 10th when your everybody's favorite president, Donald Trump, said 100% tariffs. That was the nail in the coffin for all these altcoins, in my opinion. The nail in the coffin came in October 10th. You try to backtest the 200-day moving average. You lost it, and you're still below the 200-day moving average. I cannot be bullish on Avalanche until you get up to $23. That's where that 200-day moving average is sitting at. If you're able to do that, right? If you're able to go up to the 200-day moving average, that's about a 36% gain from where you are right now. But how much lower could AVAX go? I mean, you're near the lows for the year. The lowest price was like April 8th, I believe. Is that what it is? April 8th at $14.65? I mean, I guess you could buy AVAX right now and put a stop loss at $14.65, and if you lose $14.65, then this whole year has been garbage for AVAX. And you could end up dropping down to lower prices. Like, I mean, back here in October 2023, you saw AVAX at $8.66. That would be the lows back in 2023. That's still about a 50% drop from where you are right now. Jesus. There's not that much support. If you lose $14 on Avalanche, you could see Avalanche come down to like $8, $9. And then, trying to be bullish, if I can make a bullish case, you have to get back up to that 200-day moving average at $23, and then we can start talking about being bullish again on Avalanche. Yeah, everyone's down in altcoins. So yeah, I'm gonna call 2025 was a bear market for altcoins, and Bitcoin was just trotting along, range bound between 104K and 124K for the most part, all throughout 2025. And I'm blaming on tariffs and Trump. That did not help. Because the tariffs made the Federal Reserve hesitant to lower interest rates, which then made it hard for cheap money to go into altcoins, which, you know, 4 years ago in 2021, interest rates were at what, 0%? Now they're at 4 or 5%. That was what was different about this market, in my opinion. The interest rates were killing us, and Donald Trump's tariffs were killing the interest rates from stopping the interest rates from going lower. Anyways, I don't want to get too political. We'll move on from AVAX. We got to take a look at Toshi now. Alright, let's see. I guess I'll keep that for now. Toshi currently trading at 5,908. Down 13.79%. I'm going to get rid of this previous analysis here. Fibonacci analysis. We were in an uptrend on Toshi ever since like June. Toshi was looking good, making higher lows and higher highs. However, are we threatening to make lower lows now? We got as low as 55.66 here today. The last low was like 53.82. We're still making higher lows on Toshi, believe it or not. That's a bit of hopium for the Toshi investors out there. You can hold on to that for now. But I did mark off a level that I wanted Toshi to stay above. When we looked last time we looked at this, I wanted Toshi to stay above 62.45, which was acting as resistance here that should act as support for now, but it didn't. We sliced right through that red line there, so I don't know what to say, but this is we got to get back up to 62.45 in my opinion here for Toshi. And then of course we just got to go to higher prices, right? Go to higher prices to continue being bullish on these assets here. But you do have a 0.236 level at 68.50. So I want to see Toshi reclaim 62.40 and then 6,800 before I can become bullish again on this asset. And yeah, getting above 62.40 would put you above the 200-day moving average. You're below it right now for the first time in a long time here. We've been above the 200-day moving average for a long time on Toshi. And now you're about to lose it right now. The 200 simple moving average is what I use for this red line here. But yeah, upside targets for Toshi, just get above 62.40 and get above 6,800, and then we can start talking about being bullish again on this asset. All right, moving on from Toshi, we'll take a look at SQD, Subsquid. Subsquid, SQD, currently trading at just under 8 pennies, 0.0786 pennies, down 6.3%. And wow, I mean, you just been taking not the elevator down, but you're taking a nice staircase down to lower prices here on SQD. Thank you, Lorraine, for sending me the marvelous confetti here on TikTok. Appreciate that. So you're taking the staircase down. Usually people take the staircase on the way up, and then we take the elevator down. In this case, we took the elevator up on SQD, and then we took the staircase down. Alright, so we're in a downtrend, obviously, in SQD. And how much further down can we go? Well, you would think like we already hit the support zone. This is a support zone where you have previous price action for Subsquid here at the level that we're at right now. I'd probably be looking for longs, believe it or not, even though this thing came down. I mean, how much further down could it go? You would have to break the low here on September 22nd. You would have to break below 64.58 for us to continue going to lower prices here. I put the stop loss below 64.58. If I was spot bag trading this, I'd be looking to be buying Subsquid, believe it or not selling it. I don't really have much more data on Subsquid here. Yeah, it's like they started trading here on Binance in June of earlier this year. So that's the good bit of news I can give you for Subsquid, is that you are getting close to the lows for the year. And if this ends up being a higher low, this could be a really good long, believe it or not. Okay, because you don't have that much resistance going up to higher prices until you get to that 50-day moving average, that green line at 12, almost 13 cents here. That green line showing about 0.128 pennies is where the 50-day moving average is at. And also the 21 EMA is sitting at like 13 pennies. So this thing, you know, let's just game plan that out, right? If you were to buy now here and sell at that 50-day moving average, it's about a 66% gain. And you just put your stop loss below the lows for the year. Well, you're risking about 17% to try and get that 66%. I don't know. As we get lower and lower here, I would be looking for longs on Subsquid here. And hopefully you're able to make that higher low. If you make that higher low, let me know, DZ, when Subsquid makes that higher low. If we're able to stay above what, 64.58. Mac, if we get down, I should probably put some alerts. If we get below 7 pennies here around Subsquid, I probably might throw my hat in the ring to try to buy some Subsquid here, because the risk reward is pretty good in my opinion. If I just measure that out here, we'll do a long position from here to here, and we'll just put it down to the lows for the year. Yeah, I mean, you're risking 18% if you buy right now. But we're trying to get up to that 50-day moving average as a target, and that's the 60. You're risking 18% to get 64%. The risk reward ratio is about 3.5. However, if we start, like, if I'm going to draw this out real quick here. If we get low, right, and if we start rounding out or doing a V-shaped recovery, then if you can identify that on the chart, you can move your stop loss right below that, and then you're only risking 10% to try and get that 64%, and now your risk reward ratio is like 5.8, which is really good. That's even better than 4. Prem Gel is asking me, do we dollar cost average on AVAX? I do not give out financial advice, but I can't see why it wouldn't hurt to buy a little bit of AVAX every now and then, you know, every week at these relatively low prices during a red day and a red candle. I can't see why that would hurt to be buying at these prices. I just know that from what I've seen on the charts when we looked at AVAX, I mean, if we're not able to hold $14 on AVAX, it looks like it's going to head down to $8. And that's about 50% discount from where you are right now. So maybe you might get better discounts on AVAX if you lose 14 bucks. And I see we got Road Dog is in the chat, and we got Trade Intuition. Let me go ahead and give out my shout outs here, guys. We got a couple of crypto YouTubers in the YouTube channel right now. Let me go ahead and first give a shout out to Trade Intuition. See if we can find him here. So guys, we have another crypto YouTuber with a couple of thousand subscribers here. He's going live at 9 p.m. Eastern time. That's his new time slot. But every now and then he does bonus live streams during the afternoon. So if you don't see me out here on the afternoon time slot, then you might be able to catch Trade Intuition, or you might be able to catch him later on that night, especially if you're missing out on the TA here on crypto. He also does stocks as well, so just, yeah, don't be afraid to ask him about your favorite stock as well if you want to know what's going on in the charts there. And then we also have another YouTuber here, Road Dog Crypto. Let's see if I can find him here. And Road Dog has great live streams. It's about a couple thousand. He has a couple thousand subscribers, and he's going live just about every night around like 10:30 Eastern time. So another nighttime live streaming guy here. And he has, you know, in my opinion, some of the best thumbnails ever. And he has some really great music to listen to while he's going live. And he does the moving average strategy that I do. Uses the Fibonacci. And what else? I mean, he always gets like a good amount of people in his live chat, like 30 or 40 people on his live streams. It's just what I noticed with Road Dog. It takes a while for him to get to the chat. He's trying to get better at it, but sometimes it does take like 15, 20, maybe sometimes 40 minutes just to get a response out of Road Dog. But I think he's getting a little bit better at it. But that's just Road Dog. So just know that it takes him some time, especially when he has like 40, like I think yesterday he had like 50 people in his live chat, and I think people were just scared, and everybody was coming on YouTube for the first time, and they got a chance to check out Road Dog. Hopefully he got a few more subscribers out of that. You guys are always teasing me about Latinos here. Road Dog, what do you said in the chat? You're gonna have to create a big booty Latina coin to have a fighting chance of being profitable and else. You're so funny. Let's see. Chris Klein, what's Chris saying? LOL, Dog in his chat needs to renew their vows. Road Dog blames it on the squirrels. The squirrels keeps him distracted there. Oh yeah, we gotta look at Jelly Jelly. We're gonna look at Jelly Jelly. That's the next one after Subsquid here. So, yep, we're gonna look at Jelly Jelly. Then we gotta look at Chainlink and Ondo. Let's get back to it. We have a request here for Co-AI. Oh man, Co-AI. Co-AI kind of looks like Subsquid, but you know, Subsquid took a few weeks to do what Co-AI did in like 1 week. Well, let's look at Jelly Jelly for you. Jelly Jelly. There's another crypto YouTuber by the name of Porky Flounder, and he's been talking about Jelly Jelly and Banana on his Discord channel. All right, Jelly Jelly up 156% today. Are you kidding me? This thing's up 9 cents, but it was trading. I mean, yesterday we were trading. We closed out the day at like 6 cents. This thing is at 15 cents. Wow. Okay. But I mean, look at this. Jelly Jelly is it dropped like 58%. It was at like 15, 16 cents around Halloween time. On Halloween, we got up to like 16.167 pennies to be exact. Today we got up to like 0.166 pennies. Okay, so kind of like a lower high. Not good enough. Not as good as what you saw here during Halloween. I'm a little bit curious what Jelly Jelly looks like on the oscillators here. But just before I even turn that on, you are above the moving averages. Not the 5, but the 4 moving average strategy that I use. Yeah, I got the 200-day, the 100-day, and the 50-day, as well as the 21 EMA. And you're above all that, so you are bullish, and you're actually extremely bullish for being above the 21 EMA on the daily time frame here. I'm not sure what to do with all this. This is a crazy price action, to be honest with you. Let me look at the oscillators. Let's see what the oscillators are doing. On the MACD, selling pressure was here during October. Then you get the buying pressure around the end of October, going into Halloween. Then you got this red candle that showed up here on Sunday, only for us to get that invalidated, and we're back to buying pressure all over again on Jelly Jelly. On the RSI, you were overbought on the daily time frame here, right around Halloween time. On October 30th, you were at as high as 85.48. then 72 on Halloween, and then you had a very steep cool off. And now, even though Jelly Jelly is near like the highs for the year, your RSI is only 64. So you could go to higher prices, believe it or not. And then let's look at this. Let's see. Market Cipher B. Market Cipher B. You had a green dot here today saying now's the day to buy Jelly Jelly, even though this thing is up 155%. I mean, could it go higher? Who knows? We'll have to pay attention here, but I mean, Jelly Jelly was in overbought territory above these red horizontal bars here. Alright, these are kind of like the RSI on Market Cipher B. Right, this is overbought. This would be oversold. And you were overbought, and you had that red dot. And when you see the red dot come up above the overbought bars, you need to get out of there because it's. I mean, you saw that, right? You saw the steep drop here on Saturday and Sunday. Right, but wow, I mean, you didn't have to actually get out because you're getting right back to where you were on Friday. So as long as you didn't panic, you can sell right now to break even if you bought at these high prices here back on Friday and Thursday. So that's a little bit of relief to whoever bought at those prices here. Could we go to higher prices? I mean, I gotta see what Jelly Jelly has done in the past here. Looks like it came on Mexi Exchange back January of this year. And you were as high as 25 cents. That's something to keep in mind. However, that was like usually the first day on the exchange, and then yeah, you got sold off, and the next day after that, you only got as high as like 10 cents here. So Jelly Jelly has never been this high except for like during Halloween. You are making higher highs on the daily time frame, and you're making higher lows to get to those higher highs, obviously. I'm going to do a Fibonacci now here. Should I do swing low to swing high, or swing high to swing low? I'm going to do swing high to swing low because I want to get the Fibonacci extensions for this to the upside. So just measure from there to there. Yeah, around that level there. Let's see. So yeah, what? This thing topped out at 0.1678 pennies. I got that as the number there. And I drew this all the way down to 4 cents. And the Fibonacci extensions are showing that, you know, Jelly Jelly could get up to like the 1272 at 20 cents is a level to be looking out for. I think that's like a psychological number that some people are aiming for. And then the 1618 is saying that we could actually get up to like 24 cents here on Jelly Jelly. And man, if we get up to 24 cents, I mean, how much of a percentage gain is that? About a 53% gain from where we are right now. But if we get up to only 20 cents, that's about a 25% gain. 26% gain. But man, if this ends up being like a double top, like we saw happen with CoAI, and we'll take a look at CoAI at some point here. But if this ends up being a double top, and this thing comes back to rally and gets dragged down with Bitcoin going like down to like 100K, then, and I would expect this thing to at least come back to that 618 golden pocket at 12 cents here. But even then, I would expect to go a little bit further down below that to this 21 EMA sitting at 8 cents, almost 9 cents, which is confluent with the 0.382 retracement. So just be on the lookout for that as well. This thing is all over the place here. I'd be looking for shorts, to be honest. I would probably be looking to short this thing and try to take profit at 12 cents. Maybe be lucky enough to take profit at 9 cents on the short. I would not be looking for a long here. But not financial advice. You can do whatever you want with your money. Albie is asking about Zero G. I might be able to get to that, but we gotta take a look at Chainlink and Ondo. And then I think we gotta look at CoAI as well. Yeah, I didn't write that down. CoAI. We got like 13,100 likes here on TikTok. Let's see if we can get up to like 15,000 likes. We got 16 people in the chat there, and I got 12 people here on YouTube. Let's go ahead and hit that like button, guys. Let's try to get up to those 15,000 likes if we can. Appreciate you guys hitting that like button. Alright, moving on from Jelly Jelly, we're going to take a look at Chainlink. Chainlink, it was the... Yikes! Oh, I just see this big red candle here on Chainlink. Chainlink down 11% today. I'm gonna get rid of the moving averages. I feel like my chart's looking like one big giant rainbow. Especially with the Fibonacci and everything. Chainlink, you're back at the same price that you were at here in August 2nd. We saw it get as low as like $15.43 here. So you had a round trip, you know, just like every other altcoin. All these altcoins, they went to the moon and back, if you even want to call it. Like, I don't even think you could say we went to the moon. We went up to, like, you know, cruising altitude for some of these airplanes out there, and then we came back and landed back to where we started from here on Chainlink. So that's not good. You did a round trip there. You're respecting this 0.236 retracement at $14.45. Okay, this is a Fibonacci that I drew from like $10 here. I think I drew that from the lows in April. Yeah, we got down to like $10.10 roughly, and I measured it all the way up to the high here at $27.86 in August. So you came right down to that 236 retracement. Can you hold that as support? Because if you can't, then if you can't hold $14.45, then you might come down to like right here, like $13.20, which is where you were trading at for the most part back in July for Chainlink. But if you can't even hold that, then I mean, yeah, you're gonna probably go down to the lows of the year at like $10 for Chainlink. So there are some support levels below Chainlink, believe it or not. You got $14.45, then you got $13, and then you know, then we gotta go down to $10 if we can't hold 13. But yeah, $14.45 and 13 are your support levels for Chainlink. And then to the upside, can we get back up to the 0.382 at 17 bucks? That doesn't seem too far from where we are. And then can you get up to the 0.5 retracement at $19, which was acting as resistance over the last a few days here in October. It was acting as resistance, $19. So I'd be looking for $19 as an upside target for Chainlink at this point. Would be nice if we can get up to the 618 golden pocket, but one level at a time here. And let me go on and throw on the moving averages here. Moving averages are sitting at 200-day moving average is sitting at 1796, 100-day sitting at 1896. So I think, yeah, when you get up to the moving averages, if you don't know how to do Fibonacci, right? If you don't know how to do this, then you can just use your moving averages here. 200 and 100-day moving average should be your upside targets for Chainlink, in my opinion here. About 19 bucks. Take it one level at a time, one moving average at a time. And of course, I would, you know, sell at that $21 level here at that 50-day moving average. Okay? Yeah, that's what I see for Chainlink. Let's move on to Ondo. And then we got to take a look at CoAI. And then, did you want me to look at Zero G? I know there was a guy that was saying something about Zero G here. Albie, are you still in the chat? If you're still in the chat, I'll look at Zero G. If you're not, then I'm not going to look at Zero G. Oh, alright, so you are. I'll look at Zero G for you, since you're still in the chat. But we're getting towards the end of this live stream here. I appreciate you guys coming out here and checking out these cryptocurrencies with me. I'm trying to figure out, are we going to go up or are we going to go down? Because right now it looks like Bitcoin's trying to make the case of going down to low prices here. But some of these altcoins are actually doing pretty well today. Some, not all. I would say the majority of them are doing bad. Alright, Ondo, currently trading at 62 cents, down 11% today. Eek. A lot of cryptos on sale today, I'll tell you that. And Ondo's one of them. Ondo is at the same price that it was at, trading back here in September of last year and November of last year before Donald Trump got elected. So you definitely did a round trip on this one. Ugh. Seems to be like the thing here, right? We don't do one-way tickets to the moon. We're doing round trips back to where we started at in altcoin world here. I would call this a bear market for altcoins. 2025 was a bear market for altcoins, in my opinion. All right. But yeah, if Ondo is actually gonna like stop going down and actually go up, we got a 0.236 that was acting as trying to act as support. You would think it's gonna now act as resistance at 74 cents here for Ondo. Can you get back up there? So you're basically gonna buy here to sell here if you're day trading it. If you're swing trading it, you probably want a bigger price gain than that. If you're swing trading it, you're just trying to get back up to the 2-day moving average, sitting at 89 cents here. And that's confluent with this 0.5 retracement. And a lot of the moving averages are 89 cents. If I get rid of this for now, all your moving averages, for the most part, are at 89 cents, 90 cents. I think that's about like roughly a 50% gain from where you are right now on Ondo. So I'd be targeting 89, 90 cents and selling when Ondo gets to that price point there. And then that's it. I'm not sure if you can, you know, to be asking for like 10x and 100x on these coins is asking for a lot. Unless you're getting a brand spanking new coin and you get it the day of that you're able to get your hands on it. Because I don't think a lot of these old coins are going to be doing 10x or 100x this year. You should be happy just getting 50% or 100%, a double at this point. All right, moving on from Ondo, we're gonna now take a look at CoAI. Yeah, let's look at CoAI. I think I got it on my watch list here. CoAI, where are you? There you are. CoAI. Another round trip, but it did it faster than a lot of these other coins. Okay. We've seen CoAI get up to like $20 on October 16th, and then a double top here at $19.97 on October 24th. And I was able to measure the Fibonacci off of that. And I mean, we talked about CoAI in previous live streams here. I'm not interested in CoAI until it gets down to like 13 cents, probably like 30 cents. And I was like trying to like game plan this out. Like, you know, I want to see like a double bottom on CoAI down in this area, or like maybe like a higher low. So I was trying to like game plan that out. So let me clean this up a little bit here. Okay. So CoAI. Crazy. Something happened earlier today where we got up to like $2.24, but like now we're back down to $1.10. And we're still making the case to go to low prices here. I think CoAI is, you can continue shorting it. Or this got rid of a lot of shorts here and their stop losses. But I think you could continue shorting CoAI down to like 13.30 cents. And the reason why I say 13.30 cents is because if I turn on the VRVP indicator, which I'm going to do right now for you, the majority of people that bought CoAI, they did not buy it at $1 or $2 or $15 or $20. The majority of them bought at this blue line at 34 cents. CoAI is probably going to continue going down to 34 cents here before sellers get exhausted and there's nobody left to sell CoAI, because the people that bought here, they're not going to sell unless they want to break even. So they're just going to be at break even at 34 cents. This is where a majority of CoAI investors bought on Mexi Exchange here, okay? Before it launched up, right? We saw CoAI back here in middle of September, end of September. It was trading at like 20 cents, 30 cents, 40 cents. And then it launched to higher prices on October 6th. You know, it started at 39 cents before it launched up and got up to like what? How high did you get up to? Like $3.40. Okay. So these are the people that are going to save the day by not clicking the sell button because they're just going to be at break even on CoAI. But these people, they can still sell their CoAI. If they bought at like 30 and 40 cents, they still got like they still doubled or tripled their money on CoAI. So they could sell now and they would be, you know, taking profits of like 100 or 200% profits. But then when CoAI continues going down to 30, 40 cents, then I mean, what are they going to sell at break even? They might as well stay in CoAI at that point. So I think CoAI is going to continue going to 30 cents, 40 cents. Then you might get a reaction off of the zone here to go up to higher prices. And if it does go to higher prices there, then yeah, maybe we could come visit. Well, I'm seeing a little bit of high volume here at $1.40 and $1.50, so maybe we could get some. Maybe we might drop down to 30 cents and come up to $1.50. And you know, if you buy at 30 or 40 cents and you go up to $1.50, that's like a 5x right there. So this thing is still a crazy roller coaster ride, in my opinion. Here, you just gotta be. I would say this is like a day trader coin. I'm not sure if spot trading would be good, but if you're trying to get into spot trades on CoAI, I would, you know. You can dollar cost average now. There's no guarantee that we're actually going to go to like 30, 40 cents. This might be the low for CoAI. But just know that it could go lower and you could get some cheaper CoAI at like 30, 40, 50 cents here. If you want to add to your spot bags on CoAI. Yeah. But yeah, CoAI, just using the VRVP at this point. There is, believe it or not, some volume here at $1.94. This could be where you could sell your CoAI. So like, you know, if you buy it at 30, 40 cents, 50 cents, or even $1, maybe you can sell it at $1.94, $2. You double your money from where you are right now, and you should be happy at that point. DZ says $25 CoAI to $1.10. That's crazy. RIP to the holders. Well, it seems that most of the holders, the majority of the holders, except for the ones that bought over the last couple of weeks, but the majority of them, they're still in profit. They bought before CoAI shot up to higher prices here. They were buying at like 30, 40 cents. It's the ones that bought too late, the ones that bought last week and the week before, are getting destroyed right now on CoAI. Yeah. Dirty Nose. We are looking at the VRVP indicator. It's actually on my TikTok videos. If I can get TikTok to load up here, maybe I can show you. I have a video pinned on my TikTok channel that shows CoAI. I mean, that shows the VRVP indicator. Alright, we got up to 5,500 followers here on TikTok. Appreciate that. And then here, you see I have a video here on the VRVP indicator. I pinned it on TikTok. And I also have one on the Fibonacci. And I have one that tells you how to read charts and read the MACD and the RSI indicator. So those are some good videos to check out on TikTok here. Alright, and we got one last coin to look at, and then that's it for me. We'll probably look at Bitcoin on the way out, and then that's it. No more requests. Thank you, Dirty Norse, for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. Let's go on to 0G. And let's see, I gotta type in the number 0 and then G. I believe that's the coin you're looking for. Albi, you said you bought 0G at 31 cents, so I want to make sure like this is the right coin that I'm looking at. This one, it says that 0G is trading at $1.23. Does that sound about right? Okay. 0G's up 26% today. 0G has been as high as $7.15 on September 23rd. And you know, I'm using the VRVP indicator. Why not? I'll still use it. Okay. So the VRVP indicator is showing that the majority of people bought at this blue line at $1.38. You're below the POC. I think this is a good area to be buying 0G, to be honest with you. because you're in between the value area low at 94 cents, this white line, and $1.38, $1.40 is where the majority of people bought. So these people that bought right here, they're gonna be in profit once we get above that blue line. And if we get above that blue line, there shouldn't be any resistance until you get to $1.76, and then after that, there shouldn't be any more resistance until you get to this high volume node here, sitting at 272, where there was a good amount of people that bought at like 272 on this coin here. And then looking up, if you get past that level, then there's a value area high sitting at 377. All right. And as far as like looking at moving averages, I only have the 21 EMA showing up. This thing hasn't been around long enough for a 50-day moving average to show up. But the 21 EMA is saying that there could be some resistance at $1.63. And that's kind of confluent with this high volume area at $1.76. So I think between $1.63 and $1.73 should be where you should take profit on your 0G position here. At least that's your first take profit area, and then you can see if you can wait to see if this thing gets back up to like this high volume node here at 268. And I would click the sell button because I know the people that bought here, they're underwater right now, and they're probably gonna click the sell button at 268, 270, because they'll be able to break even again if this thing actually gets back up to like 260, 270. But not a bad area to be buying 0G in my opinion here. I can see why this thing is up 26%. Let's see, you actually, well, yesterday you were as low as 94 cents, and then today you were as low as 96 cents. So somebody came in and bought some 0G. So I would still be careful on this coin, because you are in a downtrend. This is still a downtrend. You have to. In my opinion, you have to get above the 21 EMA at $1.63 before I would say this might have been the bottom here. And I'm sorry, maybe even get above this low here on October 10th at $1.60. So yeah, I think when you get to $1.60, you can say you're safe on 0G. But right now, I mean, yeah, this thing looks like it's in a good area to buy, but it could continue going down. This could be the rejection off the 21 EMA as well. So be careful with this one. Obviously, I put the stop loss below the lows for today at $96. And if this thing loses 96 cents, then that probably means it's still in the downtrend here.
Know we had actual bomb factories in Tennessee.
What is going on here? Ugh, my music is gone. No. All right, guys. Let's finish up by looking at Bitcoin here, and then that's going to be it for this live stream. Bitcoin currently trading at 106,660, 650, and I mean, but yeah, why don't we still use the VRVP indicator here, real quick here? We'll see what we get out of this here. All right, so the area to be looking for on Bitcoin is going to be somewhere between $104,000, $105,000 Bitcoin. You would expect this area to be defended. If we lose this area, then we're going to drop down on Bitcoin real fast, real quick here. Let me just zoom out here a little more. But you can see like there's a gap in the VRVP, and we don't really get much volume here until like 97K and also like 94, 95K. So if we lose 102, 103, 104K, we're going to drop down real fast here on Bitcoin to like 94, 95K. So you got to be on the lookout for that on Bitcoin here. Just looking at the VRVP indicator. Moving averages wise, you do not have any support on Bitcoin because you're losing the 200-day moving average. You would have to start using like maybe, I don't know, like the 300-day moving average or the 400-day moving average. But if that's the case, you just go into maybe like higher time frames if that's the case, and you can still use those moving averages there. But yeah, I do not like the fact that we're losing the 200-day moving average on Bitcoin here. Let's go into the 5-day chart here. You got a 50 simple moving average sitting at 91K, 92K. That could act as support if Bitcoin actually gets down to that level. And then what on the weekly time frame? There's a 50 simple moving average at 82K. Yeah, so it could get brutal and tough if Bitcoin loses 102, 103K in my opinion here. And I don't think I need to really talk about upside targets. I mean, if Bitcoin can just get above 114K, if I go back in the daily time frame here, I was looking at the 50 super moving average at 114K. If we can get above that 114K, then I would say the bull market is still intact, and this is just scary. You know, enough for me to get stomped out of my spot bags here, but I would not be interested in buying Bitcoin and actually getting back into crypto again until we get to 114K and stay above it, in my opinion here. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this live stream. I'm going to try to go ahead and put the music back on. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern time. Take care, guys. Let's get that music back going here. Where's my music? There we go. Adios, amigos. See you tomorrow.